Hi, you guys. I'm Phil Town from Rule 1 Investing, and today we're going to break down the benefits and drawbacks of investing in a 401k. So the 401k is a retirement plan that got created back in the 1970s when people wanted an option to a defined benefit plan. And the 401k plan came into being as a defined contribution plan. You could say how much you're going to put into it, not so much how much is going to come out. Corporations put it together as a second kind of plan for their top executives who had extra money, they didn't need to live on it, and they wanted some tax-free kind of way of, tax-qualified plan to put money away for retirement and for other things. And what happened was the stock market took off like a rocket ship, and these 401k plans were outperforming the defined benefit plans that many people had at that time. And people started asking to change their defined benefit plan, which said, okay, you get $1,000 a month forever, that the company had to support, into something that was said, I can put all this money in and it's just going to go up like a rocket ship in the stock market. So 401ks became a boon to corporations. They no longer had to worry about supporting their retirees. They could just worry about getting the retirees' money into an account, and then it was up to them about what happened to it. So it's something I get asked about a lot, and I think the question that most people ask me is it really worth putting my money into a 401k? So I want to consider a couple of things. Investing is almost always better than not investing. So that's the first answer is yes, the 401k is absolutely worth it. Making more money with your money is the best way to grow your wealth over time. And if you have an employer who's going to match your contribution, even if you don't, getting money into the 401k is something you should absolutely do. It's the largest retirement chunk you can put away pre-tax of most of the things people can get their money into. So having your employer match an amount of money that you invest in your 401k is a really good thing. Essentially, it enables you to double your investment right out of the gate if they match dollar for dollar. And this is something that's certainly worth taking advantage of, for sure, okay? Unfortunately, if the 401k is your only investment for retirement, there are a few things you should know that are kind of the downsides of a 401k. Just because investing in a 401k is the most common investing strategy with corporations, it doesn't mean that it's the best. And by the way, when I'm talking about 401ks here, I should really distinguish between a 401k where your corporation tells you the limited number of things you can invest in, and the 401k where your corporation said, you know what? You can pick any investments you want. You can invest in individual stocks. You can do it just like an IRA. Most corporations will not put that kind of 401k together for you. They want to treat you like a child. And the reason they do that is because they're afraid that you're going to get angry if you lose your money and sue them for letting you do it yourself. So I understand all that. That's just the way it is. If you're putting all of your money that you have available to invest in the kind of 401k where they just restrict you to mutual funds and ETFs and money market funds, I think you're missing an opportunity to make much more rewarding and much more profitable investments. Now, to help you understand why this is the case, I want to take a look at the shortcomings of a 401k and why other options allow you to grow your wealth more effectively if you know what you're doing. So first, 401k fund managers are paid very generously for their services. They love these kind of accounts. So the Fidelities of the world, right? They get payment that comes out of your pocket regardless of whether the fund is earning money or not. So that means that even when your 401k is performing poorly, you're still being charged a fee by the administration of the 401k, not to mention the high fees charged by the fund managers in addition to that. And that makes it difficult for anyone besides the fund managers to profit in this deal. If the arrangement doesn't sound ideal to you, you're better off avoiding investing in a 401k since they almost all operate under that model. In fact, when Vanguard Fund's founder, John Bogle, took a look at what goes on in most 401k programs, he was appalled at what happens to the account size by the time you're retired. He wrote a letter to the SEC and said, if you guys are allowing this, it's an amazing travesty of justice. The average person puts their money in starting when they're in their 20s and keeps putting the money into the 401k until they're 60 and starts to retire. If they pay all of those fees to all of those fund administrators and managers, it will remove up to half of a person's retirement. That's horrible. All right, second, when you invest in a 401k, you don't have enough choices regarding how and where your money is invested. All the money invested in many 401ks ends up in mutual funds and ETFs. The problem is these funds almost always fail to outperform the market average. In other words, simply putting your money into an index such as the S&P 500 and leaving it there with zero management would still net you more returns than you're likely to see when you invest in a 401k and do almost the same thing. How crazy is that, right? The reason why mutual funds fail to outperform the market once again goes back to the fact that the managers of these funds charge a considerable fee for their services and invest in broad diversification that shadows the market. So when you're shadowing the market and getting market returns and then subtracting a fee, once that fee is deducted, any returns that the manager was able to yield beyond the overall market's performance are quickly wiped out. So one of the most important points that I want to make is that the fact that over-diversifying your investment portfolio in a 401k through mutual funds and ETFs does not inherently mean that you're lowering your potential for risk. This is what most people fail to understand. They think diversification protects them against the market drops, and it doesn't. Just think about it. If your money's spread across the entire market in a large basket of over-diversified stocks and funds, you're essentially banking on the whole market going up. And of course, the market doesn't always go up. In a period of decline, having an over-diversified portfolio means your portfolio is going to decline along with the overall market. It's going down like a brick. You don't necessarily face as great a risk if you're investing in just a few stocks that you've carefully chosen, you've carefully researched, and you bought when they're already down low. Risk could be much lower and returns much higher. Think about that. For the long term, you're going to be much better off setting up an IRA and choosing for yourself the companies you want to invest in if you've learned to invest. If you don't learn to invest, stick with your 401k, pay the fees, okay? Get what you get. And it won't be bad. You do it for 40 years, you're gonna have money to retire on, it'll be great. But if you don't have 40 years left, or if you want a big pile to retire and live well, investing in individual companies using an IRA or a Roth IRA enables you to enjoy the same tax benefits offered by a 401k while also avoiding the fees charged by fund managers and the risks that come with over-diversification. And even more importantly, having the ability to choose the companies you invest in enables you to apply sound investing strategies, and it lets you handpick the companies like I do that you want to place your money in, that match your values, and that leads to much more rewarding returns than you would ever receive by investing in crummy mutual funds. Now, to reiterate, 401ks are not something that should be avoided in all situations. An employer match that doubles your investment is almost always worth it. However, they should not be relied on as your sole means of investment. So, stick to the employer match, but investing anything more than that in a 401k is a wasted opportunity in my opinion. Now, this is pretty heady stuff, so I'd love to hear from you guys. If you disagree with me particularly, is your 401k getting you better returns than you could get by yourself in the stock market? That's a good question. Might be in the last couple of years, but will it be in the future? So leave a comment below with your answer and I'll be sure to follow up with you. And thanks for watching, you guys. Now go play. So if you enjoyed this video and feel it was valuable in teaching you more about if 401ks are worth it, hit the like button and please share this video with your friends. And if you want more investing content, subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click the button on the screen for a free gift. So thanks again for watching. See ya.